Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jamber. Today's segment is basically all NBA, 4 NBA, 1 NFL. But it's good. It's not, just bland stuff. It's good conversation, good topics to talk about. I think they're pretty important. That's why I'm choosing to talk about them. So, yeah, we got 4 NBA and then 1 NFL. Mix it up a little bit, I guess. The first one we're going to talk about is the Knicks versus Detroit series. We're going to talk about the LA Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets series in segment number 2. Segment number 3, the Most Improved Player Award goes out tonight. We'll talk about that. Fourth segment, we'll talk about the NFL prank calls that have been going on since the draft. I'll touch base on that a little bit. And we're going to end it off going back to the NBA, talking about Tyrese Halliburton's dad and Giannis's little scuffle, I guess you could say, last night. So, before we get into any of that, though, tips and donations. Tips and donations are always greatly appreciated. By tipping and donating, it's showing that you guys care about the content that we're putting out, and we're putting out the best content that we possibly can. So if you do want to show your support and tip and donate, and if you're in the live stream, feel free to do that with the super chat and sticker feature. And if you're not in the live stream, feel free to do that with the 2 links in the bio and in the description. Even if you don't want to tip or donate and show your support, feel free to leave a comment in the live stream chat, YouTube video, whatever. I'm going to see it, especially if you're in the live stream. I'm going to see it and get to that right away. I'll answer it as soon as it comes up. So feel free to do that. I would love to, talk sports. That's what I'm here for. It's my job. So feel free to leave a comment and I'll get to that as soon as I see it. But like I said, if you do want to tip or donate and show your support and you're in the live stream, use the super chat and sticker feature. And if you're not in the live stream, use the 2 links in the bio and in the description. With that being said, let's get into topic number 1 for today, which is the Detroit Pistons versus the New York Knicks, or the New York Knickerbockers, whatever you want to call them. This is the second best series in the playoffs right now. This series is, it was 3-1. Detroit won last night, keeping it 3-2, going back to Little Caesars Arena in Detroit for a Pistons home game in 6. But this series has been so, poorly officiated that this series 100% can be. Pistons could have already won this. Honestly, could have already won the series just by the Pistons. This series could be over. Realistically, since I'm a Pistons fan, I'm going to argue the Pistons could have already won the series. First game, if they did not let the Knicks go on a 21-0 run, they would have won. Take game 1 in New York. Game 2, they won in New York, 2-0. Game 3, they probably, let's just say they would have lost that. Game 4, very blatant. It was a bad no call at the end. Pistons lose because of a no call. It's a no call when the referee after the game says, yeah, it's a missed call. There was contact. Let's say, because they were down 1 when he shot that, when Tim Hardaway Jr. shot that 3 in the corner. He has 3 shots. Assuming he makes probably 2 of them, win the game. And last game, they won 106-103. So the series could right now be over 4-1 Detroit, but we're not getting into hypotheticals. This series in general has just been so good to watch. As a Pistons fan, I'm in love with, obviously, the Pistons. They're my team. And seeing this very young, very, inexperienced playoff team in general in the first round as the 6 seed playing good, very good basketball against the 3 seeded New York Knicks, who, haven't really had that much success in the in the regular season this year. Yeah, they're a good team. They're 3 in the East. But when I mean success, I mean they haven't beat the top tier teams. They went 0-4 against the Cavs, 0-4 against the Celtics, 0-2 against the Thunder. The Pistons beat them 3-1 in the regular season this year. Out of 4 games, the Pistons won 3 of them. This New York Knicks team is the reason they could be good. They are good. But they could be a lot better if their head coach Thibodeau would make better rotations. he's only playing like 8 guys a game. And that's going to cause a lot of, exhaustion. The players need to sub out for breaks. I mean, this team is exhausted half the time because they just rely so heavily on these, 6, 7, 8 guys. And the Pistons, they're using 11, 12 players. They're constantly playing different guys, getting their players on the bench, resting them for a while, keeping them in shape and ready to go back in the game. And that's how the Pistons have won their 2 games, because their players were rested. They were, not. They also weren't in foul trouble. Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson last night, they're 2 bigs. Both had 5 fouls with 2 or 3 minutes left to play. And they had Mitchell Robinson in, and he almost fouled out. But it really is kind of scary for Knicks fans when you see your only 2 bigs who are getting playing time, both within 5 fouls, have 5 fouls with only 3 or 4 minutes left to play the game, and they both foul out. Your bigs you have no backup bigs. You have Jalen Duren on the Pistons, who will take advantage of any inexperienced center. He will just body them. Jalen Duren is an absolute animal. Cade Cunningham is just playing phenomenal this whole playoff series as well. He, is having some pretty quiet first halves, you could say. He's not, sorry about that. He's not playing that well in the first quarter or half of the game, and he explodes in the second half. It's just a really good series, like, regardless. You got Cade and the Pistons. Ausar Thompson, one of the best defenders in the NBA. He's, making really good plays. He's getting called a lot for very, very questionable calls. The refs are calling him a lot for a lot of reach-ins, a lot of, being physical, which, playoff time, refs are supposed to let the guys play. And I feel like this series, they're kind of not. They're kind of making it, a little less. They are letting it get more physical, but at the same time, they're also letting a lot of stuff. They're calling a lot of stuff that, some of the stuff wouldn't be called in the regular season for kind of just a weak play, weak contact, anything like that. And, it's still a great series regardless. The Knicks, and then Jalen Brunson, he's playing phenomenal. He's dropping like 30 points a game. But he's also, kind of flopping a lot, which is just, it's not really fun to watch him play. Mikal Bridges has really kind of shown out this series. He's been playing very well, shooting well, playing good defense. Mikal Bridges has been good his entire NBA career. He is, why am I yawning so much? I'm not even tired. That's weird. I'm not tired at all. I'm just yawning a lot. Sorry. But Mikal Bridges has been playing phenomenal this series for the Knicks. Karl-Anthony Towns is hitting the deepest. He's hitting shots that Dame and Curry would be calling, deep shots. He's just pulling up from like half court. And I don't know. He's just shooting the most, don't shoot that shot, and they're going in. And every time I see him pull up from beyond the arc, I'm like, oh, it's going in. Like, he is just a very efficient 3-point shooter. And it's you can't guard him. He's like 6'11", 6'10". How are you going to guard a 3-point shot in the perimeter that far out? You really can't. He's just got so much height, and his jumper is so, just high in the air. It's like a Jokic jumper. His arms are like this, and it's like kind of like going up. It's a very high jumper that it's literally impossible to block unless you're also like unless you're like Victor Wembanyama, you're not blocking it. And there's no chance of him, like, it's like he doesn't miss. This guy doesn't miss, I swear. He just doesn't miss his jump. He doesn't miss his threes. Every time I see him pull up, it's going in, and he can't guard it. But that's enough talk about Karl-Anthony Towns. But, this series has been really good both ways. Tobias Harris has been really showing out for the Pistons, playing good defense on Karl-Anthony Towns when needed, shooting well. Same with Tim Hardaway Jr., same with Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder has been playing phenomenal this series, really kind of showing out in the playoff time. He's a great player overall, but this playoff series, he is really showing out to be one of the better players on the Pistons team for them so far this playoff series. And even with them down 3-2, he has not had a single bad game this series. He's been playing phenomenal, both sides of the ball, he's pressing Brunson at, like, as soon as the ball's in, he's already in his face, like, pressing him. He's gotten a few steals out of that, resulting in some points for the Pistons, which is a really good thing to see. These good defenders playing good defense, and it's resulting in good basketball. This is a very good series. I would say it's pretty evenly matched. I mean, with how little the Knicks rotate their players, I would say that it is. I mean, why am I going? I don't know why I'm yawning so much. This is so weird, but it's just a very evenly matched series. Yeah, especially with the little rotations that the Knicks have, it kind of giving the Pistons a chance to keep up. And with them playing again like I said, the next game is gonna be in Detroit for the Pistons, which is gonna be a very good game to watch. I'm excited. I mean, I hope this series goes to 7. I hope the Pistons can come down 3-1 because they've come down 3-1 before. The most recent time was, I believe it was like 2005, 2004. They came back down 3-1 from the Wizards in the first round of the playoffs, and it was phenomenal. So I would love to see, another Pistons. I would love to see a Pistons come back down 3-1. Wouldn't be opposed whatsoever. And let's keep the series going. Let's hopefully get this win. Hopefully they get the win in LCA. Head back to New York for Game 7 in MSG. That's what any player lives for, honestly. Any NBA player ever has lived about playing a Game 7 in Madison Square Garden. And that would just be an amazing environment to play in for, especially, not for the Pistons fans, I guess, or the Pistons players, because how loud it will be. But for the Knicks fans, I mean, that'd be just phenomenal for them. But overall, like I said, this has been a great series. And I'm really excited to see, how far. If this will go to 7, I really hope so. Or if it'll end in 6 with the New York Knicks winning at home against the Pistons, which I hope is not true, but hopefully the Pistons can take it to 7 and move on to the Eastern Conference semis. That's all I got for this segment. Next segment, we're talking about the best playoff series right now, the LA Clippers versus Denver Nuggets. After that, we're talking about the Kia Most Improved Player. 3 candidates for that. We'll talk about that. After that, we'll go to the NFL, talk about the prank calls that are going on that happened during the draft. And then after that, to end it off, switch back to the NBA to talk about Tyrese Halliburton's dad versus Giannis's little scuffle last night after the Pacers win in Game 5 to go to the Eastern Conference semis. So we'll talk about all that after the break.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jammer. First segment, we talked about the Detroit Pistons versus New York Knicks series. This segment, we're talking about Los Angeles Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets series. After this, we're going to talk about the Kia Most Improved Player award that's being handed out tonight. Excuse me. The next segment is segment 4. We'll talk about the prank calls that were going on during the NFL draft. After that, we're going to end it off with Tyrese Halliburton's dad and Giannis getting into a little scuffle last night. I wouldn't say scuffle, but it was a little talk, I guess you could say. But before we get into any of that, tips and donations. Tips and donations are always greatly appreciated. By tipping and donating, it's showing that you guys care a lot about the content that we're putting out, and we're putting out the best content that we can. So if you do want to tip or donate and show your support and you're in the live stream, feel free to do that with the super chat and the sticker feature. And if you're not in the live stream and want to tip or donate, feel free to do that with the 2 links in the bio and in the description. Even if you don't want to tip or donate, still show your support, feel free to do that by just leaving a comment in the live stream. Leaving in the live stream comment section or the YouTube comment section. I'm going to see those comments, especially in the live stream. I'll see those as soon as they're posted, so I can see that. I'll see that right away and get to it. But in the YouTube one, it might be a little longer for me to get to it, but I'll see it eventually and answer that as soon as I can. So feel free to comment if you don't want to tip or donate. But like I said, if you do want to tip or donate and show your support and you're in the live stream, feel free to do that with the super chat and the sticker feature. And if you're not in the live stream, the 2 links in the bio and in the description. With that being said, let's get back to the second topic of the day, which is the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets series in the NBA. This is by far the best series the NBA has to offer right now. No doubt in my mind. Possibly the best series in basketball, the playoffs we've had in a few years. This series is just so evenly matched. The players... Oh my, if I keep yawning, I'm going to lose my mind. But the players just want it. Each player is playing to win, and that's huge. Each player wants to win this series. Because the whoever wins this series, I do believe, will make it to the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Championship, to play, a chance to play in that. That's how good the 4 and the 5 seed in the West are. Every team in the West is so good, but the 4 and the 5 seed, especially the Denver Nuggets and LA Clippers, are just both so dominant. I mean, the Denver is up 3-2. They won last night in a pretty dominant win, 131-115. But the reason that the Denver Nuggets won that game last night was because of Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray was showing signs of, he was like, hey, I'm back in the bubble. Like, he's got his bubble instinct was back. And he couldn't stop him last night. He had 43 points. 43 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. I mean, how do you stop that? 43 points, 17 from 26 from the field. It's not too bad. 8 for 14 from 3. I mean, he was just pulling up and they were hitting. But I mean, he had a great game. Jamal Murray drops 43 points in the win over the LA Clippers. If he doesn't drop 40, he only drops 20, the Clippers win that game. But, 43 points is unstoppable. That's just dropping more than 30 in a playoff game is huge, especially for, it's playoffs. You need players to step up, and Jamal Murray's the player to step up. Jokic had another triple-double, 13 points. Pretty low on the point side. 13 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists. I mean, he's just still so dominant of a player. I mean, it's great defense by Zubac. Ivan Zubac has just played phenomenal defense on him this whole series. Zubac had 27. So Jokic was kind of getting manhandled by Zubac last night. But, I mean, he still managed to drop a triple-double, with Zubac only having 27 points, 5 rebounds, only 5 rebounds from him, and only 1 assist. So, yeah, if you look at the box score, yeah, Jokic won because he had triple-double. But realistically, Zubac, you could say won that because he was playing better defense, only letting him drop 13 points and him putting up 27 on Jokic. So, yeah, honestly, you could say Zubac won that game last night for, between those two. But the Clippers themselves just stood, they just stepped up, every player. Aaron Gordon, 23, 4, and 2. 23 points, huge. Michael Porter Jr., slow night for him, 14, 2, and 1. Pretty small night for him. Christian Braun, double-double, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Big night for him. And then Russell Westbrook off the bench, 21 points. Give that man his flowers. Give that man, Russell Westbrook, his flowers. He's played great this whole series for Denver. The entire series. He has not had a single bad game. Yeah, the stats maybe not showing, he only had 21. He had 21 points last night, only had a rebound and assist. But he's just playing such good defense as well. He's still showing signs that he can, he's still playing phenomenal. So, yeah, Russell Westbrook, give him his flowers. another contributor to their win last night, taking the 3-2 lead. The Clippers, though. Clippers actually had a really good game themselves last night. Kawhi Leonard, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists, 1 rebound shy of a triple-double. 20 points. He's stepping up. Zubac, like I said, 27, 5, and 1. James Harden, really slow night for Harden. Only 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists, sorry. Very slow night for Harden. You need guys like Harden to kind of, step up and, you got to be a key scorer for the team. And when you're only dropping 11 points, that's not going to be, you're not going to cut it. You're not going to win games when your best scorer is only dropping 11 points. Chris Dunn, 15. Norman Powell had 12. It's not really. You're not going to win games with numbers like that. Especially, they had 10 plus points, but they both also had less than 5 rebounds and 5 assists each, so that's never good. Bogdanovich, 18 points though. 18, 3, and 5 off the bench. Very good. One thing that's going to cost you to lose games is when Nicholas Batum is getting 21 minutes of playing time and is dropping 0 points with only getting 6 rebounds and 2 assists. That's not going to win you games. When a guy's getting 21 minutes and you need him to score, granted he only shot twice. He only shot 2 shots last night. Both of them were 3-pointers, and he missed them both. And he 21 minutes. You got to be shooting more. You got to be putting up a few points at least. That's not going to get, only other player on the team to have 20 plus minutes besides every starter plus Bogdanovich, who dropped 18. So, I don't know. Batum's got to figure that. He's been playing great for the Clippers this entire series, but the Clippers kind of had an off night last night, I guess you could say. I guess he had an off night. Harden's only dropping 11. Starter's not playing the best besides Kawhi. Kawhi and Zubac had a great game each. But, Jamal Murray, playoff bubble Jamal Murray, he showed out last night. He's still playing. Playoff bubble Murray is still in there, and maybe he'll come out the rest of the series. Maybe he'll come out, drop another 40 points again, and who knows? Jamal Murray is very unpredictable. He'll either have the greatest game ever, dropping 30, 12, and 5, or do something who knows? Jamal Murray is very inconsistent with that, but if he can stay consistent, drop consistent, 25 plus games, they're gonna win this series and make like I said, winner of this series will go to the NBA Finals or at least Western Conference Finals. And if Jamal Murray can stay consistent, he will be helping that team make it there. Dropping 25 points a game, that's huge. But Clippers can still 100% come back and win the series down 3-2. They'll be fine. So next game, we'll have to wait and see, but I do think the Clippers take it and the series goes to 7, which I hope is the case. Thank you for tuning in. Not thank you for tuning in. Whoops. That's all I got for this segment. Next segment, we're going to the NBA still. Talk about the Kia Most Improved Player of the Year. It's being handed out tonight. Talk about that. After that, NFL prank calls are happening during the draft. Recap that a little bit. Going back to the NBA for the last segment. Talk about Tyrese Halliburton's dad and Giannis' little scuffle after the game last night. We'll get to all that after the break.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Before we get into this start, I have another sip of water. I'm thirsty. That's some good water. Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jambert. Past two segments, we talked about the two best NBA playoff series right now, the Detroit Pistons versus the New York Knicks, and the LA Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. This series segment, sticking with the NBA, talking about the Kia Most Improved Player award, which is being handed out tonight. After this, we're talking about the NFL, the prank calls that are going on during the draft. And after that, going back to the NBA, talk about Tyrese Halliburton, his dad, and Giannis' little scuffle, I guess you could say, last night. So, yeah. Kia Most Improved Player, which is, an award handed out by the NBA to the player who has, improved the most. Basically says it in the name. Who's, just become the best player, who had the biggest jump, biggest leap from the season prior. And the three candidates this year are all just the best candidates you could have. You have Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons, Ivan Zubac of the LA Clippers, and Dyson Daniels of the Atlanta Hawks. Three very, very good players that can, they're just valid. They deserve to be the Kia Most Improved Player, but which one will it be? Dyson has been a great player this whole year for the Hawks. Great defender. People were calling him his name was, because he's from Australia, the Great Barrier Thief. Because they got the Great Barrier Reef, and he's like a really good defensive player, getting a lot of steals. So they're calling him the Thief, because thieves steal. So that's pretty improv name, pretty cool name. But even how good of a player he is for the Hawks this year, I am gonna already eliminate him for the award. I think Cade and Ivan are just too good to, are the two just top tier candidates. I think it's just going to be between those two. So who's it going to be? Obviously, you got Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham was the first overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft, and he has come. He never took his foot off the gas. Cade Cunningham came into the NBA from Oklahoma State as the first overall pick, and he's just helped the Pistons in every way. He's dominated. Great defender, great playmaker, great scorer. When the Pistons are down with only, down by 1 or 2, with 10 seconds left in the game, no shot clock or whatever, there's only one person I want to have the ball, and that's Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham he's just a person you want on your team. He's clutch. He makes big-time plays. He can just do everything. Defend, play make, shoot, whatever. You need something to get it done, Cade's your guy to do it. Cade is overall just, honestly, he's the best player from that draft. Yeah, Evan Mobley, he won Rookie of the Year and just won DPOY to him, won DPOY this year. Congrats to him, Defensive Player of the Year, Evan Mobley. Congrats to him. But I still believe Cade is just the overall better player than him. Cade was obviously, like I said, first overall pick. So how can a first overall pick win the Most Improved Player when, he never fell off? I don't know. That's what I'm really confused about. How can a first overall pick kind of, become the most improved player when he never took his foot off the gas, when he never, he never slowed down, anything like that? I'm not really sure. I really don't know. I do think 100% he can win it, though. He has taken a huge leap from last year. His points, rebounds, and assist averages have gone up a lot since last year. He also, one reason I do believe he will win it is because of how he led this team this year. He led the Pistons last year. They only had 14 wins. This year, with the new head coach, J.B. Bickerstaff, he was able to lead the Pistons from 14 wins last year to 44 wins, tripling the win total and making the playoffs the year after having the worst record in franchise history. It's phenomenal. The way he's able to lead that team, the player, not only do the players listen to him, it shows the organization. Everybody respects him. I have never met a single person in the NBA who enjoys and follows the NBA who doesn't respect and like Cade Cunningham. He's just phenomenal. He can do it all. Oh my gosh, I'm still just yawning tremendously. It's just horrible. But he can really just do it all. And that's why he could absolutely win Most Improved Player. He was the most improved player, I would definitely say, and the most improved team in the NBA this year. His stats were never bad, but they did take a jump this year, so 100% he could win it. But then you got Ivan Zubac of the LA Clippers. He if you want to talk about an improved player, he is by far the most improved player in the NBA this year. He, when he was in the Lakers, he barely played at all. He was getting very little minutes a game, putting up very little stats. He gets traded to the Clippers, and a few years ago, and he just makes an impact. He grows over time. He becomes a better player, and now he blossomed. He is now blossomed into one of the best centers in the NBA. Him and Jokic are going after it right now in their playoff series, and it's been a great matchup both games. You have Zubac, who's playing a phenomenal player in Jokic, a possible MVP, 4-time MVP winner if he wins this year, but a 3-time NBA winner and NBA Finals winner, Jokic. And, I mean, he's phenomenal. He is holding, I wouldn't say holding, but he has, throughout the series, he has not let Jokic put up, an insane stat line like he does every game. Yeah, Jokic had a triple-double last night, but he only had 13 points. He had a very weak triple-double, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists, very weak triple-double. Zubac was holding him to 13 points only while also dropping 27 on Jokic. So, I mean, when you have a center like that going up against the best center in the NBA and possibly top 5 center all time already, yes, I'm going to say that. Jokic is already a top 5 center all time. That just shows complete improvement from when he was originally traded from LA to the other side of LA with the Clippers. And, 100% he can't win the award. He is just a phenomenal player. He is their big. There's no one else the Clippers would rather have right now than Zubac. Yeah, they got Harden, Kawhi, who are great, who are both phenomenal players. But you want someone who can go score efficiently and effectively, give it to Zubac in the paint, and he'll get an easy 2 points for you. He's just so good. He's strong. Obviously, you're a center. You're big. But he's just a great center overall. He is phenomenal. One of the best centers in the NBA right now. And he's played good throughout the entire year. The most underrated as well. The Clippers were hardly getting recognized this year at all. Why am I hardly go like that? That was weird. But they got no media recognition, no media attention, and they were still just one of the best teams in the Western Conference. And they were getting the recognition because they were a bottom team in the West. Any bottom team in the West, any 4 or 5 or 6 team in the West would be a top 2 team in the East. Not beat, just would beat. But he's just so good. Zubac's had a great season this year, and there really isn't much more to say about him. He's tremendously improved from when he originally joined the Clippers to now leading them to through the playoffs, through a phenomenal regular season. So who's gonna win it between Cade Cunningham and Zubac? Obviously, I'm a Pistons fan. I'm gonna say Cade Cunningham's gonna win it, but who I really do. So obviously, yeah, my bias side is gonna say Cade's gonna win. My NBA side, not being a Pistons bias fan, Zubac will win it. He is just tremendously improved, just so much. Cade Cunningham is never, like I said, he never took his foot off the brake. He's never slowed down. So he never really he hasn't really improved, I guess you could say, stat wise. But a little bit here, his stats are still going up. But it's a matter of, which player really improved the most, and Zubac really has. He's really stepped into his role this year as a powerhouse center for the Clippers. And yeah, I think he wins it just for that reason. He's a great player. He's really stepped up. He's really been the anchor for them. Really been, we need some points. Yeah, give it to me. He's just a great overall player. He gets a lot of rebounds. He's averaged a double-double. And his double-doubles aren't weak, 10 and 10. He's getting 25 and 12, 25 and 13, 14. He's putting up a lot of points and a lot of rebounds. So, honestly, who wins the Kia Most Improved Player? My Pistons side says Cade, but my NBA fan side says Ivan Zubac of the Los Angeles Clippers. That's all I got for this segment. Next segment, we're talking about the NFL. Kick it over there. Talk about the prank calls that were going on during the draft. After that, we're going to go back to the NBA. Talk about Tyrese Halliburton and his dad and Giannis's little scuffle scuffle after the game last night. We'll get to all that after the break.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jammer. Sorry, my eyes got a little watery there. I'm not sure. I think probably allergies. So sorry to kind of rub them real quick. But this segment, the first 3 segments, talk about the NBA. Talked about Kia Most Improved Player. Then we talked about the Detroit Pistons. First off, we started with the Detroit Pistons Knicks series. Then we talked about the LA Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets series. Last segment, we talked about the Kia Most Improved Player, who that's being handed out to tonight. This segment, we're talking about the NFL prank calls that are going on during the draft. And then to end it off, going back to the NBA, talk about Tyrese Halliburton's dad and Giannis's commotion last night. So the NFL prank calls. Unbelievable, I guess you could say. Throughout the NFL draft, multiple reports of players reports came out that they were getting prank called by those random, organizations. Like, they're claiming to be, the GM of certain teams and prank calling them and all that, which is horrible. It's absolutely horrible, especially the one that happened to Shadur Sanders. The most notable one, the one that kind of started it all. Shadur was sitting at his house, with Coach Primetime and his family, and he gets a phone call. I believe it was he was in the second round, maybe the third round, and he was impersonating. It was the Saints. He was impersonating the Saints GM, and he was saying that we're going to take you to the next pick. And he goes, are you serious? He goes, yes, but you're going to have to wait a little longer. And then the kid just said, it's a prank call, haha, funny. So, absolutely horrible. I mean, there was no reason that any player ever should, getting not only have their phone number exposed, but, the kids prank calling them. I mean, you're going to the NFL draft, possibly making a name for yourself, and you just get, you think you're going to this team. Oh, no, it's a prank call. And then you just go to this other team not knowing if it's real or not. Horrible. So how did all these prank calls go through? How did they even happen, I guess you could say? So the main one, like I said, Shadur Sanders. What happened, the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, Jeff Ulbrich, his son, he went home. He was home for the draft, and he saw that his dad's tablet, iPad, tablet, whatever, was on the table, like his work tablet, and it was unlocked, or he didn't lock it properly. So he went onto it and went through the contacts, and he just saw all these players' names, and they're because for the draft, a lot of the players get special phones just for the draft, just for GMs to call them and all that stuff. So what he does, him and his friend meet up the day during the draft, and they call him, prank call him. They say you're getting drafted to the Saints, but they were just trolling the entire time. So yeah, that happened. So, but after that, multiple other reports were coming out of players are coming out saying, yeah, I got prank called as well, all of that, blah, 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 blah. So what happened? So the main one, defensive coordinator for the Falcons, Jeff Ulbrich, he was fined, or the Falcons were fined $250,000 for the prank call, and fined Ulbrich $100,000, like just him. So the Falcons ended up being fined a total of $350,000 for, not, it wasn't even for his kid's actions, which is horrible. No, it's horrible. But they're going to, from what I hear from articles that I've read and, seen, the Falcons and the Ulbrich family are going to, make amends, I'm not sure how they're going to make amends, but they will. Probably go to community service or anything like that to kind of redeem themselves, redeem their, the name, the organization. Because that's absolutely horrible. But, I mean, there wasn't just, I guess that kid, who the kid, I believe is his son's name, Ulbrich's son was Jax. He, he got caught and he issued out an apology. So it was a pretty poor, I guess you could say, apology. He apologized, but it wasn't really that good, I guess you could say. He took accountability, but he only apologized because he got caught. But I mean, he took full accountability, which I guess is a good thing. He did say in his apology that he takes full responsibility and that is completely childish because the kid's in college. The kid who's the Jax, the son of Ulbrich, he believes a sophomore in college, so he knows better not to do something like that, and he still persisted to do it. And then he took a video, or his friend did, and got leaked, and then it all went down for there. But they're not appealing the fine, the Falcons or the family, because they were 100% are in the wrong there. So yeah, which is horrible. But it's good though that the kids, the family's not debating it. They messed up and the family's taking accountability. So are the Falcons. But it's not only them who were prank called. A lot of other players were. For example, now tight end for the Colts, Tyler Warren, he was prank called. Cal McCord, quarterback now for the Falcons, or the Eagles, sorry. Mason Graham, who was a 5th overall pick, somehow got prank called, and his was probably the worst. But I mean, his was definitely probably the worst because of the language that was involved in the prank call itself. There was a leaked video of it, I believe, if I saw this right. But from what I saw, the person who was imitating Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Browns, so he was getting prank called by the team that eventually ended up drafting him. And what the kid was saying in that phone call was honestly just kind of disgusting. He was saying, it wasn't gross, but the language involved is something that I'm not allowed to say on the air. I'd get in trouble. My boss wouldn't be very happy with me. But it was really disgusting. It was, very vulgar and just gross. Just calling him some pretty mean things. But it's just horrible that, these guys are getting prank called like that. Tyler Warren, who was picked up in the first round by the Colts, he got prank called as well, like I said. Cal McCord in the 6th round by the Eagles. Yeah, I feel like those later guys, you could see that happening, which kind of sucks. But, I mean, I'm not sure. All these guys got prank called. So how are all these, phone numbers getting leaked? How are all of these, head coaches, coordinators leaving, their laptops, tablets out in their sons or, people who know them? How are they managing to, just get in there and just get the phone numbers and prank call these guys? I mean, these phone numbers they're getting are just for the players for the draft. They're not the normal cell phone numbers. They are getting specific cell phones from, I believe it's T-Mobile, and they're just getting leaked. I mean, how is that possible? What are we doing? But they got to figure that out. I mean, that's because apparently Cooper DeJean, he got prank called last year as well, and he was also a 1st-round pick. It's kind of nuts. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of you can't be letting that happen. You cannot be letting your players, especially if you're like Mason Graham, how are you, I don't know. It's kind of weird. If Mason Graham is definitely the most weird situation when you're getting prank called by a team that actually ends up drafting you. Pretty random, pretty kind of insane. But I mean, the head coaches and coordinators and all those members of the team's facilities, they need to just keep those tablets locked up. I mean, they cannot be letting them fall into the hands of their kids who will end up doing something stupid, which has happened, with Shadur and that Jax Ulbrich kid. So, overall, I mean, very interesting topic to talk about. Very interesting, just sequence, I guess you could say. There's no way that players and coaches are getting their numbers leaked because they can't lock up their tablets properly. Really, really funny thing to think about, honestly, but at the end of the day, I mean, people make mistakes, and the Falcons and the Ulbrich family have, made their mistake. They taken full responsibility for it, which is good, but they got room to learn. They got, figure it out for next time. Oh, we can't be leaving our tablets unlocked. It's a loading mistake. It shouldn't be, a thing in the first place, but, things happen. So maybe hopefully they learn from this and move on to bigger and better things. That's all I got for that segment. Next segment and the final segment, we're talking about Tyrese Halliburton's dad and Giannis's little scuffle after the Pacers win last night. We'll get to that after the break. Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jamber. First 4 segments today, talked about NBA, the 2 best series right now, the playoffs, Pistons-Knicks series, Clippers vs. Nuggets series, Kia MVP, that award's being handed out tonight, recap that, those players. Talk about the prank calls that are going on in the NFL during the draft. Last segment, this segment, we're dribbling over to the NBA. No, I'm not doing that ever again. That was really bad. But we're going to the NBA, talking about Tyrese Halliburton's dad versus Giannis, I guess. But it wasn't a fight. It wasn't a fight. But Halliburton's dad should not do what he did again last night. So a little backstory, I guess you could say. Pacers Bucks game went to OT last night. Bucks just absolutely sold that game, by the way. You're up by 8 with 40 seconds left, and you managed to choke it away and go to OT. Horrible. But they go to OT. Pacers win 119-118. And the clock runs out. Sorry, excuse me, I burped. The clock runs out in OT with the Pacers win, meaning the Pacers win. They beat the Bucks second year in a row, and this is Giannis' 3rd straight year of leaving the playoffs first round. And yeah, he's probably done in Milwaukee as well. But that's besides the point. Tyrese Halliburton's dad, as soon as the game was over, got out of the stands for some reason and just rushes the court. Like, not really rushing the court, but he rushes to Giannis, which is absolutely absurd to me. But then not only that, he starts trash talking him. Giannis is like 6'11", 6'10", absolute freak of nature. They don't call him the Greek freak for no reason. And Halliburton's dad, I'm not sure what he was thinking, but he must have thought he was safe or something because he's Halliburton's dad, which I'm not sure. But he starts trash talking him, and Giannis isn't having it. I wouldn't be having it either. If I'm an NBA player and some player's dad of all people comes up and starts trash talking me, I'm not having it. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna do something. So they're having a little scuffle, had a little altercation, words being exchanged, players are getting chippy, and I thought this was really funny. Mid all that's going on, Brooke Lopez of the Bucks is just talking to the Pacers mascot. He goes over and daps him up. They talk for a few seconds. I thought that was really funny. Brooke Lopez is a great guy, great player too, but he's a great guy. He's a good human being, but must know the guy or something. Maybe he's just a nice dude. Who knows? But I mean, what Tyrese Halliburton's dad is is unexcusable. You cannot leave the stands wherever you are. I don't care if you're front row, middle section in a VIP booth. I don't care. You should not be leaving to go down and start trash talking another player who is honestly better than your own son. Giannis is a lot better than anybody on the Pacers, but the Bucks just didn't come out this playoffs as a team, and the Pacers did. But regardless, Giannis did the right thing. He didn't, say anything that'd get him in trouble. He didn't swing, which I'm very surprised. Giannis is a scary guy. He's a nice dude. He's a gentle soul, a gentle giant, I guess you could say. But if he wanted to, he could murder somebody. 100%, he could just murder somebody in a fight. But yeah, he did the right thing. Kind of just didn't say anything. Tried to walk away. He played it smart. So what should happen to Tyrese Halliburton's dad? Should he get in trouble? 100% yes. He should face some sort of action. What should that action be? I was discussing this earlier, not on the show, just earlier today, and a lifetime ban from the NBA. No, that was brought up. That should not happen at all. What he did was really dumb, yeah, but he should not be lifetime banned from every NBA game. If the NBA wants to prove a point, they can do that. But I think that his punishment should just be no. He shouldn't be able to attend the playoffs this year and next year maybe if the Pacers make it. But yeah, 100% he should face some sort of action. But I think the punishment this year should just be, yeah, you're done for the playoffs. You can't come to any more games. I think that's totally fair. No. Not only should nobody be rushing the court, I guess that's fine. That's kind of like a college thing. But no reason should an NBA player's family be rushing down there to trash talk someone else who not only was clamping up your entire team, but was also, could kill you in a fight. So kind of crazy for Halliburton's dad. But yeah, whole scenario is just really weird. If the NBA really wants to, make a point, prove a point, they could definitely do something more extreme than the rest of the playoffs. Maybe for the next few years, it shouldn't be allowed. Maybe the next season or two, he's not allowed to come to any games. But the problem is that I kind of think this. If they ban him, then the Pacers fans will kind of try to boycott games maybe next year. Pacers, Pacers are kind of becoming, a big market team. They're winning. As of recently, they're winning a lot of games, playing good basketball. Made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, got swept, but still they made it. They were kind of, they're winning. They're playing winning basketball, and they're kind of becoming a team that the NBA is really enjoying. Really, it's bringing them a lot of money. So they're kind of worried that maybe if they do that, Pacers fan might start boycotting, they boycott games, maybe, not buy merch, they're going to lose money. So they don't want to do something that's prerogative, something that provoke the whole, fan base so they don't lose money, which is why I think an NBA playoff ban this year and maybe half of next year, maybe not, if not the whole of next year, would be honestly the perfect punishment for him. So he kind of learns his lesson to not do that. But after the game, even Tyrese Halliburton himself said, that's on my dad. That's he was not condoning what he wasn't for it at all. He said, yeah, this is my dad's fault completely. There's no reason that should ever be happening, ever. And I completely agree. There is no reason that any player's dad should be running onto the court and just start yelling at another player, trash talking them. Just completely unprofessional. In every aspect that is unprofessional and should not be happening. So, yeah, what the punishment should be, like I said, I do think that he should be banned for the rest of the playoffs. Minimum this playoffs and maybe next year, just regular season plus playoffs if they make it. And then he's back to games after that. Because, he shouldn't be allowing that. You gotta set a precedent, set an example. We're not gonna let this happen. We're not just gonna let anybody come rush onto the court and face no consequence. That's completely fine for the NBA to kind of prove a point here, kind of take action, prove that they're not just some stepping stone, not just someone to kick over, like, oh, they can come onto the court and face no consequence. They should be 100% facing some sort of, I wouldn't say legal action, but they should be, facing some sort of consequence, and banning them for the rest of the playoffs and possibly next year's as well, plus regular season, is probably the best way to do it, where they probably won't lose like money or viewership or fans because of it. I think it's kind of like the best option they got. Plus the Pacers are a good team. So, I mean, it would suck for Halliburton's dad, but he made that choice. And Giannis put it safe. He didn't do anything to provoke him. He didn't say anything to Halliburton's dad. He started it, so Giannis hopefully faces no consequence. If he faces some sort of consequence, I'd be appalled by that, honestly. There's no reason that Giannis should face any consequence, no fine or anything. I mean, who knows? Speaking of Giannis, where will he go next year? I mean, he's done. I think his time in Milwaukee is done. He's a very loyal player, so maybe he will stay. But I think it's like 70-30. I think he leaves. A 70% chance that he leaves and goes to like New York or Brooklyn, maybe the Hawks. Maybe, I mean, who knows? A lot of places he could go. Where he'll go, I mean, only a matter of time. A lot of spots. Any team could use him. Any team could use him. So, I mean, he's still playing great. He's still playing dominant. He's his what's the word I guess I'm looking for? His elasticity. He's been playing great since 2019. And he's a first seed in the playoffs in 2020 because of him. And, he's been playing great this whole year, his whole career, honestly, since 2019. He's been playing great. And he's still got it, man. He's still playing great basketball. So any team that's willing to look out for him is going to get them. You're going to have to give up a lot. But a lot of teams have a lot to give up and that they don't need. So, I mean, who knows? It's only going to be a matter of time until we see if he stays. We'll know coming sooner or later. So, hopefully, I see him leaving. I think he does leave, but who knows? He's a loyal player. But Halliburton's dad should be, to end it off, he should be, banned from the playoffs for the rest of this year. And I think he should be not be able to attend any games next year, just any game in general. And maybe playoffs as well next year. Well, maybe playoffs, but 100% should not be able to attend any NBA games next year and the rest of the playoffs this year. That's my take on it, at least. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. Your continuous support really means the world to us, so feel free to like, comment, and share with anybody you know who enjoys sports. If you want to stay up to date with all things GSMC, make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. We're on everything. TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, X/Twitter, Facebook. We're on anything. So if you want to search up GSMC on any social media, we're on it, and follow us to stay up to date with all things GSMC. And like I said, thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Have a good one.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.